So we are going to discuss now today here in the JavaScript after understanding about various operators and statements. Technically, we need to know about different types of statements, how to handle different types of statements and work with the statements we will see. So some examples also. Statements in JavaScript actually. We have selection statements. We have iteration statements, iteration and looping statements. What is the purpose of event? So what is the purpose of event? Actually, event is a message sent by sender to its subscriber in order to notify the change. That is the definition for event. Event is a message sent by sender to its subscriber in order to notify the change. Actually, in general JavaScript, you should know this point. Suppose we are writing a function. Some function 1. And we have button on click is equal to function 1 like this. So this is some submit button. Now generally what usually people think about event is, usually people think that we are writing a function f1 and we are calling that function. People think that we are writing a function and we are calling that function here. Majority of people think in this way. Am I right? Yes or no? We are writing a function and calling the function, right? Majority we think in the same way, but actually it is not like that. We are not calling the function. Actually, we are pointing towards the function. That means actually this is the direction. So this is not the direction. Understood? We are not calling the function. We are pointing towards the function. It is pointing towards the function. So we are pointing towards the function. We are pointing towards a function. That is important. So I will show you practically this. Then you will understand. For example, see, I will just add a simple event dot here. I will just add event.html. Okay. Here I will add a simple head section and the body. And we are writing a function here. Function f1. Okay. That we will keep in a script. Better script element. We are defining a function. Okay. Now usually, so script element close. Okay. So here we have a button. So submit. and on click, we have F1. We are calling that F1. We are thinking in this way. I will delete this function. There is no function called F1. When I run this, will I get any error? Will I get any error? There is no function called F1, right? There is no function called F1. You are trying to access it. Will I get any error? No, it will not get any error. Why it will not get any error? Because observe carefully. I press F12 debugger console. In the console, there are no errors because yeah, okay. When I click the function, you can see when I click the button, you can observe at that time the error will come. It says that there is no function F1. Understood? That means now by understanding this situation, what do you think? Event is calling the function or pointing towards the function? What do you say? Event is calling the function or pointing towards the function? Is it calling the function or pointing towards the function? So event is not calling the function, it is pointing towards the function. That is the reason, event follows a delegate mechanism. Delegate mechanism means function pointer. Event follows a delegate mechanism. Delegate mechanism means function pointer. It follows a delegate mechanism. Delegate mechanism means function pointer. So it points towards a function. Actually, in this is pointing towards the function. And very important, you should know that in this entire here, this is actually called as sender. And this is called as subscriber. That means the function is called as subscriber. And this is called sender. So sender is sending a message to subscriber saying that click happened, you need to execute now. Then subscriber will perform that functionality. That is the reason event is defined as a message sent by sender to its subscriber in order to notify the change. It follows a delegate mechanism. That means it follows a function pointer mechanism. Now in this point, here you have to know is, suppose we have button on click is equal to some function, some F1, that is the function we are calling. So on click it is pointing towards that function. Now you have to know that this on click is equal to F1. This entire line is called as event handler. This is called as event handler. It is called as event handler. On click, it is event. It is event. So on click is equal to F1. It is not called event. Only on click is event. On click, what it is going to execute, what it is going to handle, this all together is called as event handler. And usually event handler follows delegate mechanism. Delegate mechanism means function pointer. Many people have a doubt, what is event handler? On which action it has to do work, that is event. On which action, which work it has to do, that is event handler. That is the difference between event and event handler. You should know that. And event handler follows a function pointer mechanism. It points towards the function and executes the function. And very important, you should know that several elements or events can point towards the same function. Several elements or several events can point towards the same function. That means one function can be used by several events, can be used by several elements can point towards the same function. I will show you that. Why we need like that? Because observe carefully one point. If I asked you a question like, in how many ways I can save a file, what do you say? In how many ways we can save a file? Can you tell? Saving file, in how many ways we can do? How you can save a file in generally applications, in how many ways you can do that? There are so many methods. One method is control yes, good. Another method is we can go to file menu and select save. Am I right? We can go to file menu and select save as. Am I right? Save as. Am I right? I can go to toolbar. And can click on save button. Toolbar have a save button. Toolbar having a save button. Am I right? That means control yes. Control yes. File menu save as, save button click, all are pointing towards the same functionality. Na? Am I right? All are pointing towards the same functionality, but from different states. Am I right? Right? That means a single function can be handled by different controls and different events. Just I will give you one simple example here. So what we will do now is, suppose I will create here a data list and heading as saving file. Okay. So in the data term, I used button click. I just put here a button and save. Okay. And another data term, I used a simple image click, or click is same. I will use drop down, and I will clear here select. In the select, I will keep here as an option as new. I will select here as an option as save, like this. That means we are using that option here. Now important is it can have new option or anything, something like this should have. Now there are two different options now in our file: save button and save. I click on save button, I select save, both should work similar. Then what we do is we write a function save click, save file something, and I will just put an alert saying that saving your file. Okay, that message it has to display. Now observe here, on this button click, that means on click, I am writing on click. I will point towards the save file function. On change, I will point towards the same file function. Actually, you should not do like that. You should write if it is new, if it is save. On new, do one work. On save, another work. Those I will tell you later. As of now, here I define option as select option. Select, choose option. Like this I will give. Okay. Now important is two different events and the two different elements are pointing towards the same function. That means I will refresh here and I click on save, and you can see that it will alert saving your file. Okay. I will click on drop down and select save. This is also saying saving your file. That means it is working on both. So function is one, and many elements and many events can point towards that function. So this is a function pointer actually. Event uses a function pointer mechanism. All can point towards that particular function. I hope everyone understood that point. So example is this. So first point clearer, everyone? It is pointing towards the function. So now here important is generally if it is pointing towards the function, it is pointing to the function. That means every time it is doing the same work. But according to the situation, it has to do different tasks. That means now this point is clear that a function can be there. All events can point towards that function. That means all are doing the same work. That means several elements can use the same function. Several events can use the same function. Now in interviews, they ask the question is, so one important question is, can single function, that means is it possible that one function can be used by multiple events or elements? That is the answer we have given now. Answer is yes. It is possible that one function can be used for multiple events or elements. That is the point we have discussed, right? It can be used. Now another question is how to manage different actions with the same function. How to manage different actions with same function? This is also a regular question. Function is only one, but it should work for different situations. That means this question can be asked like this. Single function should work for different controls with different functionality. This is the question asked regularly. Single function should work for different controls. Already it is doing it, but for every control it is doing the same work. Am I right? Huh? For every control it is doing the same work. Am I right? You all are understanding the point? That means every time it is doing the same work, but it has to do different tasks. That means for different functionality, it has to do the different tasks. Let's see how we can manage that. That means, for example, let's handle that situation here. Suppose this example I already given. Suppose we are having buttons. One is insert, another one is update, another one is delete. All these functions, all these controls have a function, database. So all these functions, all these controls should point towards the same function. That means on click is equal to database. On click is equal to database. And on click is equal to database. All are pointing towards the same function. All are technically pointing towards the same function. Obviously, if you write any functionality, it will do the same work for all of them. No, we want this function to handle different situations. Although function is same, but it has to do different works. Like on insert, it should insert record. On update, it should update record. On delete, it should delete record. It has to do different works. In different instances, it has to do different works. Then how you will manage that? How you can handle that? So that means how to manage different actions. The answer is you can manage. So how we can manage such type of functionalities, right? You can manage by using event arguments. You can manage by using event arguments. Technically, we call event arguments. And the JavaScript event can handle two arguments. First one is is this, another one is event. These are the reserved argument names. You have to use the same names. This and event. That means this event can handle two arguments inside this function. What are the two arguments here? Event arguments. One is you can use this keyword or you can use event. Any one is enough according to situation. You can use two options, this and you can use event. You can use this and you can use event. What is difference between this and event? This and event. What is difference between this and event? Actually, this is an argument which gives access. This is an argument which gives access to the current object related properties, current object properties. What is the current object? Current object related properties means what is the current object? What is the current object we are using? That object related properties we can access by using this keyword. What is the current object? Tell me. Object, current object. The current object. What is the current object? Current object is button. Na? Am I right? Huh? The current object is button. So button related all properties we can access with which argument? This. Usually button related what properties are present? Button properties means what it contains? ID, value, class. Am I right? Huh? Those are all button related properties. Button ID, button name, button class. All such properties we can access. Yes, all properties we can access by using which keyword? By using which argument? This. By using this. And event related, all properties are accessible by using event. Event means currently we are using which event? Currently we are using which event? On click. Na? On click is the event. Am I right? So event related, all properties. Event also have some properties. I will show you. Event related properties we can access by using which key, which argument? This. I hope everyone understood. Every event contains how many arguments? Maximum it can contain how many arguments? 2. This and event. What is the purpose of this? The purpose of this is to send current object related properties to function. Understood? It will send the object related properties to function. And event will send event related properties to function. Event related properties to function. That means now what we can do here is observe carefully here. I am defining for every button, I am defining button name as btn insert. This button name as btn update. And this button name we are defining btn delete. Insert, update, delete. These are the 3 button names we are defining here. On click, currently we are not sending event related properties. I will use this object related properties we want to send. Later in another example, I will show you event related properties. Object related properties we are sending to this database function. We have to collect that and store in a variable. You can just declare a reference obj. In this OBJ, this data is passed. Now through that OBJ, you can access the button name. You can access the button name and you can define different. That means when I click update button, what will happen? This will send update button related details. When I click insert button, this will send insert related properties. So that means usually what we have to do now, here we have to use a condition, but there are many conditions. Then there are many conditions. Then we can use, if there are many conditions, we will use a switch. Into the switch, we will pass obj dot name. Obj dot name means it is sending this name. That means into the switch, we are passing obj name. And here we are writing case. Switch uses case. In the case we are defining, if it is btn insert, that means if case is btn insert colon, what should happen? Document dot write. It should display message as record inserted. That message should come. After that break, it will stop. If case is btn update, then it will document dot write. It will perform record updated. This message should come. Then break. If case is btn delete, then it should display document dot write. It should display record deleted successfully. This message should come. I will close that and break. That is enough for now. That means we are configuring these options now. If you don't use break, then it will continue to the next. Various conditions about switch I will explain now. We will discuss about that, right? Then you can understand. If you don't use break, then it will continue to the next one also. It should not continue to the next one. After finishing this, it should stop. Am I right? So break will terminate it. Fine. Now let's run this and see. Here our main point is not understanding switch case. Our main point is understanding how the event is passing the parameter. Means argument is passed here. We are collecting that. And we are accessing name. Name means the button name will come. And I refresh this now. And I click on update. You can see it should say record updated. I click on delete. It should say record deleted successfully. I click on insert. It should say record inserted. That means function is same. For all the buttons, but functionality is different because it can know which button clicked. Based on that, it can perform different functionality. Instead of writing 3 functions, we can write one function which can handle all. The advantage of this is once the memory is allocated for first button, the same memory will be used for other buttons also. It will continue that. That will be easy. Sometimes it is not required. In that case, we prefer writing separate events. That means insert click, update click, delete click. Separate events we write. So separate events are required when you are not continuing the work. Once the work is done, you stop. Next work will you do or not? That depends on situation. In that case, better write separate events. Otherwise, if it is a continuous work, like inserting, updating, you are doing continuously, then better write this approach. Here, Our main concept is to understand the keyword this and what this keyword is sending. It is sending information about the current object. Object means current object means name, ID, class, all such details. We have to collect that and we have to use it. We have to use it. What is the advantage of switch case? Switch case will execute only what is needed. For example, I am not using switch case and I will show you. Without switch, I am writing an if condition. If obj dot name is equal to btn insert, then what should happen? Document dot write. Document dot write. It should say record inserted. Okay. Else if another condition, obj dot name is equal to btn update. If it is btn update, then document dot write, it should say record updated. Then else if another, like this we can add multiple. Obj dot name is equal to btn delete. Then document dot write record deleted. These messages should come. I written like this. Now what is problem in this type of approach? I will show you. For example, I will refresh, press F12, debugger will come. In the debugger, go to source. In the source, our page is event.html. Open that event.html. In that, at number line 4, click there. A breakpoint will come. Again, click to remove breakpoint. Okay, breakpoint came. Now refresh the page and click on delete button. When I click on delete button, observe the if condition comes here. First, it will check this one. btn delete is not matching with btn insert. Then step over, click that step over function at the bottom. At the bottom, you can see step over. This is step over. Then it will go to next line. Click step over. It will check the second condition. It will go into it. And step over. It will go to the next one. That means it says record inserted. If I click record inserted, suppose I am refreshing this. I click on delete button. When I click on delete button also coming here. This is btn delete, btn insert. I click on step over. It is coming to record inserted, and step over. It is coming outside. Always record inserted is working. So that means why it is working? So that it should not work actually. Why? Because the point is we have to write even else clause also. If any one of these are not matching, then it has to delete. Actually, what it is doing is, it is checking every condition which is not required actually. So that means if conditions, they check everything. It has to directly check the delete one and it has to execute it. So it should not manage in this way. This is the wrong way. That's the reason we don't prefer this if there are multi-level conditions. Then better option is what we have to do is, actually our condition is reasonable, but this is not the right way for multiple handling. Then what we have to do, better use a switch. Into the switch, you pass that value or name. And here, if it is case, if it is btn insert, then put a message document.write. So record inserted, and stop executing there. And if it is btn update and document dot write and put a message record updated and break. And finally, we have btn delete, and we defined document dot write. So we say record deleted. Okay, and break. Now I will refresh here, and I will open the debugger, and I will keep the breakpoint in the switch case, and I will click on delete. You see now it comes here into the switch. It is matching with btn delete. Then I click step over, then it will directly go to the delete function. You can see it is coming directly to delete. It is not touching others. After that, step over, it will break. After break, it will come out of that, and your functionality is finished. It says ready. That means you click on update, inserted, update, updated, delete, deleted. Without touching the other conditions, it can directly execute it. That's how we can actually manage by using the switch. There are so many points about the switch case. I will tell you about them. That is what I said just now, that it is not able to go into the other conditions. So it always checks the first condition and stops. If you are writing an if else, that is the problem I showed you. Now you are again explaining me the problem, right? I showed you that it is unable to handle that insert. It is unable to go to the else, because it will go to the else in a multi-level condition way. Understood? That is the problem I showed you and came here, right? That means it is unable to enter into the next level condition. It is stopping at the first level condition. That's the reason it is not the right way. That is the reason we came to this way to handle that. Generally, how we do, we can even write multiple conditions also. I will show you, if you don't know if conditions, how to write, right? I will show you how we can manage that, right? Multi-level conditions, how we can configure multiple conditions, how to configure, we will see that. Initially, our main concept here is to identify which one correctly sets to that situation, why it has a problem, because all are pointing towards the same function. And when are all pointing towards the same function, it is important to make it understand about which function it is. Generally, if I write through if and else, then what will happen? It has to check first one, after that second, after that third, after that fourth, until the condition is matching. But currently we are using an event. What it will do is, we are not writing any break. Then what it will do is, it will execute the first one and it will stop every time. Because when you click the button and it is unable to use the flow of execution and control the decision. So while specially working with these event parameters, you cannot depend on if and else every time. That's the reason that is not the right concept at all, right? We need to go with switch, how we can handle the switch. Later, I will show you what are the various options to understand about the switch. So many points are there. Our concept is not understanding switch in the current situation. Switch and if differences, I will tell you later. First, just concentrate on this end event. What are these two arguments? Our concept is events. We will first talk about it. Then I will tell you various consequences about switch. Why? Because if anybody asked you, like, can I write a switch without break? Then what you will say? You can write a switch without break. Can I write a switch without default? Can I write a switch without default? We can write a switch without default. Currently in my example, there is no default, right? Can I write default above the cases? Can I write default above all the cases? Can I write default above all the cases? Yes. Can I have a case as a number? Can I have a case as number? Yes, case can have a number. Can I have a case as condition? Can I have a case as condition? Yes, case can also have a condition. These all situations you will understand, right? I will give you an example on that. So various consequences. Then you will get a clarity on that. Our concept is not understanding if and case here currently. I just used this to handle this situation of how to collect the data from this and use it. Later, when you learn about switch and if points, I will tell you some more about them, what you don't know actually, right? Yeah. Initially, this is used for that purpose. I'm explaining this point, right? Now, this is an example for understanding what is the purpose of this keyword, not about switch. Don't concentrate on that. That you will learn later. We will discuss about that. Switch and if, why it is not executing it, why it is executing it, all those points, right? Now, what is the purpose of event? Event is used to send event related parameters, event related parameters, event related properties. What are event related properties? Click event. Every event have some properties. For example, event related properties means, for example, tell me, so if I write click event, now which click? Is it right click or left click? Can you tell me? I defined on click. On click is for left click or right click? On click will work for only left click, not right click. Understood? For right click, we have to use on context menu. Context menu means right click. Right click. Those events I will tell you, we will see about them. But generally, click means on click. Now, one more point here is suppose you have seen several websites. In many websites or many applications you have seen, they will give a link and they will say that control plus click will open link. Am I right? Have you seen anywhere like that? Control plus click will open. Have you seen anywhere like that? Right. Now the point is how the click knows. Yes, how the click knows. How the click knows whether you clicked with control key or not. Understood my point? Whether you clicked with control key, whether you clicked with alt key, how that element knows whether you are using that key or not. That means every event have some properties. Through those properties, it can know about which button they clicked also. It can know about which button they have clicked also, right? Which button they have clicked. So that means event related also some properties present. I will show you event related properties. How do we manage that? Actually, suppose I am creating a div. So we have a style. So width is equal to 300 pixels and height is equal to some 200 pixels and the background color, so yellow. And in this we have here, so use left and right clicks. Use or say simply use control plus click, control plus click for alert, for alert. This message I have given. These messages we are configuring, right? Right, right. First follow what I am teaching. Then you will be very much concerned about where the notes is uploaded. Mr. Ajay, right? When lunch will be provided, when notes will be provided. Those all questions are not in between the class. Understood? Uh, right. What topic we are discussing, what question you are asking. Uh, let's see. Now the point here is, I will refresh this now. So I will refresh this now. This is the option. This is the option, right? Now here, when I click with control key, then only alert should come. Then there is no such event at all. Then what we write? We write on click. On click is equal to show alert. So that means here we are calling a function, right? We are defining a function, pointing towards that function. Function is show alert. Show alert is the function. But it should show the message only when it is used with control key. When it is used with control key. Then what we do is, we have to tell that function whether control is used with click event or not. Then we need to send event related properties. Then we use event. Event. We are collecting that event here, E. We are collecting that event here. Right? We are configuring that event. We are defining that event here. So the event is here. Okay. Now what should happen here is, in this event, through E, I can access this event properties. Event has lot of properties. In these properties, we will write a condition. If E dot CTRL key means control key. Event has lot of properties. So many properties are there. You can see them. All the properties you can see. How to see the properties of any object? Tell me. How to see the properties of any object? Tell me. How we can see the properties of any object? We can use for in operator, for in, am I right? For in operator. Okay, let's write that. I am writing for where property in E. E is an object actually, event object it is. And document dot write, I am printing property. So property, so plus BR, line break. And observe carefully, when I click on this now, when I click on this, you can see it will show all the events. Event properties. See, so many properties are there for event. In these event properties, observe, we have a CTRL key. It will verify whether you used control key or not. Shift key, it will verify whether you used shift key or not. Then what will happen now? I just written a logic for that. What will happen now? If E dot CTRL key is equal to, it will return a Boolean value, true. Understood? If it is true, then what should happen? Alert should come. Alert should come. So it should say that success with control key. Success with control key. That is, the message should come. Otherwise, you can put any another option also. So we can use any another option here. So you just see about what we are learning currently. don't try to understand about all these properties. You have to spend your lifetime to learn JavaScript then. Understood? Right? You don't need to worry about all these properties, okay? Because if you have to spend learning all these properties that are available, then 1 year JavaScript will happen. Okay, na? So you need to know only what is required for our situation. Okay, you don't need to worry about others. Huh? Right. Right. Now see here. Once what we have to do now is I need to understand about control clicked or not. So currently you have written for that. Then I refresh and click on control key, control and click. Then it will show an alert. Without control key, I am clicking. It's not working. You can write an alternative condition also. Else you can say that. You can put an alert. So please use control key, CTRL key. You can put this message. That means I will refresh here and I click. It says please use control key. I am clicking with control key. Then it says that success with control key. Means whether we are using control key or not, it is very fine. That means object related some properties are present. Object related some properties are present. And event related properties are present. So event related properties are accessible by using event. Object related properties are accessible by using object. Hundreds of properties are present. We will not learn all the properties available. We will learn the properties that are regularly used and handled. Why? Because if you are trying to understand all the properties, it's not possible at all. It's not possible at all. Why? Because, for example, I will show you, suppose I am saying object. So this, I am passing this. What this will do? This will send object related properties. That means div related properties. And I will use a for where property in obj, and I am printing that document.write. And you see here we are printing property and with br line break. That means object related properties we are accessing. And I refresh here and click. These are all div related properties. You see how many are there? You want me to teach all these now? Right? That means only div will happen 1 month to understand all these and work with them. No, all are not required for us because hundreds of options are available for every object. In that, we need only few. We learned about div in HTML, right? Anywhere in the world, in any tutorial in the world, nobody will try to explain you all these properties, right? So except the MDN library. And we don't even have the time to waste the time in understanding all this nonsense, right? Because according to the situation, we need few, we will use them. And sometimes rare situations will come where we need to know about them. Then we explore into the library and understand about it and use it, right? It is unnecessary to understand all this not required current situation, depends on the requirements. So regularly used ones, we learn, that's enough, right? Any technology has a lot of things, properties to handle. We don't need all of them, right? We need only important what are used regularly, right? Because if you are learning Java or .NET, if anyone asks, are you learning complete Java? You can't say that. Why? Because in Java, thousands of libraries are present and you will learn only 3, 4, 5, 10, right? All the thousands of Java, whatever Java is developed, you learning that, that's not happens. Any technology, you are learning only what is needed for that development process. So that's the reason it's waste of time in understanding other properties. Many people ask, what is this? What is that? Because they see it, right? That's the reason don't waste time in that, right? We need to just understand what we need for that particular situation. Okay. Now, the such properties we will learn, such properties we will use, right? So I hope everyone understood 2 points. What is event and what is event and what is this keywords, right? Now, how to write different events and how do we work with different events, we will see now. Working with different events and writing with different events, we will see now. So working and writing with different events, we will discuss. Means key events, mouse events. In those events, we will learn about all the conditions and all. So that we will see tomorrow. We will continue that tomorrow. So from today, we are doing one thing. What we are doing is, from today, I will give you a notes, all the notes of whatever you learned, and from hereafter you are learning, everything will be in Google Classroom. Google have a Google Classroom. I will give you that classroom ID. You register there. I will be updating all the notes in that Google Classroom. So that in this Google Classroom, I can give you some tasks also every day. You will get that on your mobile. You have a mobile application. Google Classroom mobile application is there. I will give as UI 11 a.m. 11 a.m. So this is the class code, right? So I will create a class. Yeah. So UI 11 a.m. 2020 batch, right? Yeah. 11 a.m. 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. These all examples I will upload here. So UI technologies. So, and here I will be uploading all, I will upload a complete HTML tutorial also. You go through that. So from hereafter, our details will be here. What you have to do is go to Google Classroom, sign in into Google Classroom. You will find an option here. You will find an option here. So join class, right side corner, join class. And in that join class, you need to give this ID. You join the class with this particular ID. With this particular ID. This is the class ID. Everyone I sent you. You join the class. All our classroom notes I will upload here, and tasks also I will be giving here to you. Okay. So no more on GitHub I will upload. Everything I will be giving here. Right. I will upload complete material for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript here. You can get it from there. Okay. You can upload from there. Here I am adding our classroom related tutorials and everything. Okay. You can go through that, right? Then tomorrow we will continue with our session and learn about the other events, huh? Right?